Alright, so this is very much a booktube channel. However, I am starting off the year with a video about films. I did say I was going to do this, and because I just posted an extra little vlog, I thought this is a perfect time to rank all the films I watched in 2025. I already have them ranked. I am just kind of gonna explain my rankings. I watched only 79 films. I was hoping to get to 100, but I did not. The last couple months of the year, as I've said in past videos, got a little bit crazy, a little bit busy, a little bit not the best at times, and I didn't really watch many films, if any, those last couple of months. I am excited to do this ranking. I love films. Just a very unique take, I think. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start. Basically, I'm going to say every film. I'm just gonna start listing films. So I did write this out from first to last, but I'm gonna read it the other way around. And there are gonna be some controversial opinions on here, but you have to remember I watched 79 films. So you're gonna be like, why is that film number 20? And it's like, because I watched 79 films and quite a bit of them were good films. So, okay, starting at 79 is Oz the Great and Powerful. Did not keep my attention. I maybe just don't care for the casting as well, as I don't think it was that well written. And like, yes, the VFX, some of the VFX were actually quite pretty. Some were not great, but I don't mind like cheesy VFX, but I think more so the story itself, acting, a lot going on in that film, I did not care for. 78, this is gonna be super controversial, especially if any like Marvel bros watch this. Deadpool and Wolverine. I am not a Marvel person in general. I'm not like a superhero person in general. I did like the first couple of Deadpool films. Deadpool and Wolverine I didn't care for. I think it was for big Marvel fans and big X-Men fans. I've only seen 2 X-Men films. I don't know X-Men. I don't care. And I didn't think it was that good. I didn't really, it wasn't funny. I don't want to say it was completely unfunny. There were obviously like a couple times where I did a little chuckle, but it still wasn't like, it was definitely one of the worst films I watched this year. After that is 13 Ghosts. I am a big fan of, I'm a big fan of Matthew Lillard. The way I could not remember his name, but I love him. I think everything I read about him, he seems like such a nice guy. Of course, I don't know him, so I'm not gonna be parasocial, but I didn't like that film though. It wasn't scary and it wasn't interesting, and maybe it was just like the time I watched it, the company with, like, it just wasn't like doing it for us. And I watched a lot of good films, so I wasn't feeling 13 Ghosts. Can't Buy Me Love. I watched a lot of rom-coms because I worked on a rom-com over the summer, and so this was my least favorite out of the ones I watched for sure. It could be just like it's outdated or whatever, because it definitely is. But I didn't care for the story either. I'm not a Patrick Dempsey girly because I never watched Grey's Anatomy. That could also be it, but just the story itself was so like gross and I didn't care for it. Mr. Right, I did not like that film. I did not like the way Anna Kendrick's character was like infantilized. I did think like parts of it were fun for sure. It honestly made me uncomfortable and I didn't like it. And the story itself wasn't that interesting to me either. I Had Just Married is number 74. I don't like Ashton Kutcher, so that could be why, and also just the story itself. Once again, I wasn't interested. It wasn't the best rom-com I watched this year by any means, and I just simply didn't care. 73 was the Jonas Brothers Christmas film. I think it's called like A Very Jonas Christmas or something like that. It was cute. I don't want to say it was like awful. It wasn't as bad as I expected. I didn't know it was going to be a musical. It just wasn't like good. I don't know. Again, all I could say for it was cute, but it wasn't like interesting. Next was My Best Friend's Wedding. This is, I know, is a controversial opinion. I know a lot of people love this film. Again, just not the best rom-com I watched, and I don't care that they don't end up together. Like, I feel like when I told someone I didn't like it, they were like, is it because she doesn't end up with her best friend or whatever? I was like, no, I don't care. It's just the rest of the story. I didn't care about it. I just simply didn't care about these characters, their stories. It didn't pull me in at all. Oops. Like, number 71 is Bride Hard. It was this new Rebel Wilson film where she's playing like deadpan, but the delivery wasn't there for me. Like, every time she did her deliveries, I don't know, it was interesting because it felt like she was playing two different characters. When she was like with her friends, she was like the super sarcastic, and like she did deadpan a little differently there than when she was like being like this badass spy. She would do the deadpan, like full deadpan, no emotions, and it felt like she was just trying too hard to be badass in those moments, and it didn't hit. Like, I don't know, just the whole film itself too was a little too silly. Like, I love a comedy, but I think comedy needs more than just being a little bit silly. Number 70 was Groundhog Day. The Bill Murray film. It was fine. It wasn't that good. Obviously the message of like, care about other people, like, I don't know. It was just also like, someone made the comment of like, it's also so funny the way Bill Murray acts. He's so sarcastic that even when he's like changed, you're like, wait, but did he really? Because he still sounds so sarcastic. But not even that, just like, I thought it was fine. It wasn't better than the other films on this list. This one's gonna be the most controversial. At number 69 is The Shape of Water. Listen, I just don't think it's Guillermo del Toro's best film, and I do think like they wrote the main character in a way that is supposed to be like she's overlooked because of her disability. So I think they wrote her in that way, but I don't think it landed as well as it should have, because like, why did like these male side characters have like more well fleshed out characters and plots than hers? Like, I can understand how that's part of the writing, but so I do think it was just some stuff that I couldn't like overlook. I think visually it's stunning. It was visually a stunning film, but the story itself I think could have been written better. At 68, I have Kubo and the Two Strings. I thought it was really cute. It was just like, I don't think I have a lot of kids films like super high up on this list. I also don't like Matthew McConaughey for no reason other than I just don't like him. And then at 67, I have Good Boy. It was that horror film from a dog's point of view. I do have it higher on this list than, I might be a bit generous with this, but I did think the concept was really interesting about like a horror film from a dog's point of view and like the fear of mortality, but from a dog's point of view of like not really understanding human mortality, and it being horrifying to witness for them. I do think it just wasn't executed as well as it could have been, and like pretty much everyone that I know that's watched it or that like I was watching it with was just kind of like, what did we just watch? So I don't think the story hit as hard as it could have. I do love dogs though, and the dog was a very good dog. Number 65 is Moon. It was a very interesting, again, a very interesting concept for a film. I did enjoy watching it, and I don't watch a lot of space films. I've never seen The Martian. But I don't know, I could have just been again when I watched it, where I watched it. I enjoyed watching Moon, but it wasn't the best film that I saw for sure. 64 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm not a Tarantino fan, I'll just say it. I've only seen a couple of Tarantino films. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it was fine. It was just fine, but it wasn't that interesting. I think it was too long. I think the ending was like, I understand what they were trying to do, but I just don't think it was well executed, and the ending felt a bit, I don't know, it felt a bit rushed. I don't know, the pacing was really weird. Like, there was just something about it that didn't work for me, and it could just be because I am a bit biased and don't like Tarantino. 63 is Flow. I thought it was super cute. I think the way it told a story, all visually, there's no dialogue at all in this film, was very innovative, very cool. I think the way it was all made in Blender was pretty cool as well. However, the story's like, to me, it was just kind of like Noah's Ark. So I was just like, okay. Again, thought it was really cute, and it could also be because like I'm not a child, and so I was like not as interested in it as maybe a younger audience would be. And I do understand like the emotional impact that it had on like audiences of all ages. Could also just be because like my views on religion, I just don't care to watch something that's just like Noah's Ark. 62 is Inside Out 2. Again, another like kids film. I thought it was cute. I just it wasn't as good as the first Inside Out for sure, but it was cute, and like the way it helps children kind of like understand emotions and like changes they might be going through is good. We need kids that have emotional intelligence. I think raising people to have emotional intelligence is a good thing. Again, I just think wasn't as good as the first one, and I might just not be interested because I am an adult. Number 61, Memento. I did think this was very interesting, the way it goes backwards in time, the way it reveals things. I thought it was a good film. I will say this, I did think was a good film. I just don't think it's Nolan's best film. I think Christopher Nolan is another one that I'm like, I don't hate him. I just don't. He's not my favorite director. I think his stories don't have as much as emotional impact as other stories, but I do agree like that Memento is a very interestingly written and executed film. Number 60 is Hustlers. I thought the story again was interesting. The cast is crazy. There's like Jennifer Lopez is in it. Yeah, just like so many. I think Lizzo was in it. It was like such a like so many people kept coming up. I was like, who is in this film? Like what is going on? I don't know. There was part of me that almost didn't even want to finish watching it because it didn't pull me in. I don't know. I had a friend that didn't finish watching it. It wasn't bad. I don't think it was a bad film by any means. It just wasn't as like interesting as like something like Anora, but that's a different story. I'm gonna pause there. 59, I put Nosferatu. It was fine. I think it was a bit too long at times. Some of the cinematography actually did genuinely make me dizzy. Like, I like being creative with cinematography and just editing and all that kind of stuff, but I think some of it was a bit much, and I didn't care for it as much as I was hoping to. I just saw a lot of hype for it, and so I was hoping it would be really, really good. But I just thought it was fine. Like, I didn't think it was amazing. I don't know, I think I just wanted more from it than I was given. 58 is The Lost Boys, another film that I thought was fine. I had fun watching it with friends, but it was just like, I don't know, I mean, it was a very cute, like, 80s vampires film. I did like it in that sense, but it was fine. I watched so many better films. I actually put Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy above this, which is surprising. I put that at 57. Maybe if I rearrange this, I'd probably put it below I'd honestly probably put it below Memento. But I'll just say what I have to say about Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy. It was cute. It was fun. Again, it could also be like the time I watched it. I just feel like we should have been done with Bridget Jones. And yeah, I think Bridget Jones has good like introspection. I think there aren't a lot of films for like older people finding love. She's not that old, but like middle-aged even. And just like for her it was like the second chance. Although I like don't really understand why we had to kill off Mr. Darcy after all those films and them finally getting together, but it's fine. At 56, I have X-Men Days of Future Past. I had a lot of fun watching this with friends. As I've said, I'm not really a superhero person, but I think I just had a fun time watching it with friends, and I thought it was a pretty decent film. We were kind of talking through it in the sense of like talking about it in the X-Men, because some of my friends are in the superheroes, and so just like learning more about that world through them and while watching the film could be why I enjoyed this film a little bit more than others. But just also I think that happens a lot with film is the experience of watching it, because 55 I have FNAF 2, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Was it a good film? No, but I had fun watching it with friends. And I thought it was cute, like how it had like references and like poking fun at like some of the video game aspects of it. But yeah, no, it was just like I definitely had fun watching that. This is why my list is a little bit controversial, because it's like, how could I have FNAF at 55 and then like Memento at 61? But listen, and honestly, if I moved up, if I changed this around, I think FNAF would then be at like 56, or maybe FNAF would still be 55 and Memento would be at 60, because if I changed Bridget Jones. But anyway, yeah. And then 54 I have How to Train Your Dragon 2. I do like How to Train Your Dragon. I'm not as obsessed with it as I think I even thought I would be, because I love dragons. But I do think it's a cute franchise. And I did like the second one. I probably like the first one a bit more. But again, I just think it's cute. 53 Pretty Woman. Obviously it's a bit outdated, but it is a classic when it comes to like rom-coms and that kind of stuff. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was amazing, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was decent. 52 Goonies, again, thought it was cute, decent, classic 80s film, but it could just be because I didn't watch it as a kid that it wasn't like as impactful to me. At 51 I have Oh Hi. That was a new rom-com that came out with Logan Lerman, and I'm so sorry I can't remember the woman's name. I will put it here. It was an interesting watch, I'll say that. It was a new story. I haven't seen a rom-com like it, so I enjoyed it at times. Other times I was like, I'm kind of bored. So I thought it was, again, it's one of those films that I thought was fine, but I didn't think it was bad. And at 50 I have the Simpsons movie. This is another one. It's like, how could you put this so high? It was a really fun watch. I was watching it with friends, so that could also be why. I enjoyed it. I didn't watch The Simpsons growing up. Like, I didn't see like any episodes of it, so it was kind of a new experience for me, and I thought it was really fun. 49 is Mickey 17. I thought it was good. I love Robert Pattinson. I liked the clone concept. I do think some of the writing was not my favorite, but it was an okay watch. It was okay. I love Robert Pattinson, and I think he's a great actor. I think he did a really good job playing the clones, because they really did feel like two different people to me. I will say though, like with Mark Ruffalo, his character was a bit heavy-handed, and I think that was a bit much. I do prefer a bit more subtlety than that. But on 48 we have Confessions of a Shopaholic. It was fine. It just definitely wasn't my favorite of the like 2000s rom-coms I watched. I thought it was fine. 47 is Pain Hustlers. I thought it was a really interesting story. I think it could have been handled with a bit more care given the subject. The acting was pretty decent. I was intrigued by the story. I think a bit more so than others, but I do agree that I think it could have been handled a bit differently and a bit better, and I think there are some aspects of it that should have been explored more. Moneyball is at 46. I am surprised by how into this movie I got, because I'm not like obsessed with sports or anything like that, but I do think like this was a pretty good film, and by the end of it I was like actually getting into the baseball too and being like, oh my god, run, like like, did you really drop that ball? Did you really strike out right now? Like, do better. Yeah, so I was actually surprisingly into that film. At 45 I have Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. That film was a trip. It was crazy, but it was so much fun. It is a comedy. What's his name? Jamie Dornan? He's the guy from 50 Shades of Grey. He like sings at one point. I genuinely was like, what am I watching? But I had so much fun watching it. I really did. 44 is Pride and Prejudice. I would say as far as film adaptations of books, this one's really good. It's a classic. I saw it in cinemas because of the 20th anniversary. I think it was the 20th. Yeah. No. Yes, the 20th anniversary. It was, I did really enjoy it. Not my favorite film I've seen all year. I do think I enjoyed the book better, though this, I think, it follows the book quite well, but I do, like, I do err on the side of like I don't think a film has to follow a book perfectly because they are different mediums, and I do kind of look at when you're making a film or a show adaptation of a book, it is something new. So if they take creative liberties, it's not something I'm gonna be mad at unless it's something that completely changes the plot. So, but that being said, I did think this was a cute film. It's just not one that I'm like, me personally, like I agree, the hand flex was great, like all that kind of stuff. But I'm not like someone that's like, I'm gonna rewatch this every year and that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, I've seen it. I thought it was cute. I liked it. I think the actors did a great job, and I think the cinematography was also quite good. And I love the way they did a lot of reaction shots in like the JNL cuts and that kind of stuff. By that I mean like visual kind of storytelling and not just relying on the dialogue. Yeah, it's like, considering how many films I watched, this is like solid in the middle. It makes sense, trust me. To me it does, at least. On 43 I have Jaws. I watched this while ill, but I really enjoyed it. I think it really helped me because when I was little I went on the Jaws ride at Universal that I believe no longer exists, and I was very young and I had never seen Jaws. I think I was honestly like 4 or 5. I had never seen Jaws. I was scared. I was terrified. I didn't know what was going on. Why were we getting attacked by a shark? Why the captain of the ship suddenly had a gun? And it all seemed very real and scary to me. And so it was a bit healing, I think, to finally watch Jaws. And while I do think we should not just be scared of sharks and assuming sharks are bad, I mean, obviously don't go swimming with sharks. Like, that's their home. So if you get into shark infested waters, which doesn't make any sense, like, to me, because it's like that's their home, but like, just like, sharks live in the ocean. Just from like really crazy thing to say, I know, but it's not their fault. So that being said, I did enjoy Jaws. 42, My Cousin Vinny. Can we give Marisa Tomei another Oscar for that one? Cause my god, she's incredible. I think she honestly carried that film. It was a good film. I think the other guy, the guy that's like Vinny, I think he did a good job as well. I think the film itself is very interesting, but Marisa Tomei, I think, really carried that film. Number 41. Gonna be controversial, but Fight Club. I thought it was good. I thought the film was good. I thought it was really interesting. I can understand why people really like it. Especially if you are understanding the point that it is criticizing toxic masculinity. That being said, I think it was very predictable. Like, I knew that Brad Pitt wasn't real. That they were the same person. But I do understand how, like, and it could just be like me at the point in my life that I watched it. Like, I am at the age that I should have, like, the critical thinking skills, but, like, I understand especially why teenagers think, like, oh, this is so cool, because, like, it is, like, if you're, like, new to, like, cinema and, like, more critically acclaimed cinema, like, sure, it was good. It just wasn't, like, oh my god, the best film I ever watched. 40 is K-Pop Demon Hunters. I thought it was good. For anyone who comes for me, we're in the middle here, so these are good films. The music was good. I just fear I might be too old for, like, the watching it over and over, and, like, I watched it once, and I thought it was good. I thought it was cute. I thought there were good messages in there. I just was like, yeah, no, that was cute, good film. I'm not gonna rewatch it. So this might be a crazy placement. Number 39 is Happy Gilmore 2. I don't know, I just enjoyed watching it. It could also, like I said, it could be the time, the place, wherever that I watched it. I also really like Bad Bunny, and I think he was so good in it. Honestly, when I think about the fact that Travis Kelce is in it, it does make me want to put it way lower. But then when he gets, like, doesn't he get, like, eaten by a bear? I don't know. Being a little bit of a hater. Yeah, Happy Gilmore 2, it was fun, it was cute. I enjoyed some of the gags and, like, the, like, family aspects and this guy, like, getting himself out of a rut and, like, bettering himself. I just think it was, and I really like Bad Bunny. I've liked him in films recently. I'm like, I feel like Bad Bunny should be in more films. Number 38, Ready or Not, Eat the Rich. It's a really good film. The main actress, oh, I can't remember her name, but her scream is insane. Such a good horror movie scream. She's literally a lamb to the slaughter in this film, and she screams like a lamb. It's crazy. I did think it was a bit silly at the end. 37, Life of Pi. I think it's a really, really good film. I thought it was, like, all I can say is I think it was a really good film. I think it's one of those, like, you really have to sit there and think. Not necessarily, but it gives you room for that, and I did like it. Is it one that I'm gonna rewatch? Probably not, but I did think it was really good. 36, When Harry Met Sally. Definitely one of the better rom-coms that I watched this year. I understand why it's a classic now. I, like, didn't want to watch it for a long time just because, like, I am not the biggest rom-com person. Like, that might come as a surprise, but because I was working on one and, like, using it for, like, references for, like, an essay I had to write, or using rom-coms, I watched a ton. So I enjoyed this one. I thought it was really cute. I didn't know that Carrie Fisher was in it. That's really all I have to say. 35 is Superman. Superman I saw twice. Love the messaging of it. I think it was visually very interesting. I'm not a huge superhero person, but I did like the story. I did think it was fun. I watched it with friends and I did enjoy it. Number 34 was Fall Guy. This is another one that I thought was really fun. I do like Ryan Gosling. Emily Blunt is good in it as well. I don't have much to say about it. I do think it has a very, very slow start, but it gets better and I enjoyed it. Anora, I thought it was really good. I do think, like, learning about some issues on set, like, gives me a bad taste in my mouth. Like, they definitely should have had an intimacy coordinator, and I think leaving it up to, like, a young actor to decide is, like, I don't know, you're supposed to protect the actors, right? Yeah, so I don't love that, but the film, I was really into it. I was surprisingly really into it, and I think the way that they did the sound was really interesting, that sometimes, like, you don't really know what anyone's saying because they're all, like, talking over each other, so you're catching a word here and there, but you're still able to follow the story. This is not throughout the whole film, but there were moments of that I was like, normally that would, like, put me off, but they did it quite well. Then 32 is 13 Going on 30, and 31 is Drive Me Crazy. I do think those were my two favorite, like, really, like, 90s, early 2000s, I can't remember when those came out, rom-coms, but, like, from that era. I really enjoyed those. 13 Going on 30, a lot of people love it. It's, like, a classic. Drive Me Crazy, I was really surprised by how much I loved it, because I will say it kind of has a similar story to Can't Buy Me Love, and so it does have some, like, and I mean, I think all of these, like, earlier 2000s films have a little bit of outdated things in them, but I, like, Drive Me Crazy, I was like, I think I rated it, like, 3 stars. I was like, I had fun. I thought it was fun. I thought it was cute. I enjoyed it. Number 30 is Lady Bird. Really good film. I really liked Lady Bird. I do like Greta Gerwig. It's just I watched a lot of other films that I liked a little bit better, but I thought Saoirse Ronan did a good job, and Timothée Chalamet was Timothée Chalamet. Like, he's, like, barely in it, but I feel like people always talk about him in it. But the whole film, I did think it was a really good, like, coming of age film. Then 29, A Real Pain. It was a hard watch. It was very emotional. It made me cry. But I did think it was really good. So I do understand the way it's acclaimed and that kind of stuff. Number 28, Moonrise Kingdom. I did like this film. It wasn't my favorite Wes Anderson, and I don't think it's the best Wes Anderson, but I thought it was cute and I thought it was fun. And I do think I want to watch more Wes Anderson this year because I liked the Wes Anderson films I watched last year. 27, Promising Young Woman. Very hard watch, very important watch though. It, like, obviously, like, was, like, very emotionally hard, as I just said, and it, like, made me want to throw up and, like, made me so angry. But I'm, like, thinking about it a lot after because of that. And like I said, I think it's a very important film because of the way it talks about hard topics and things that are very real that women experience. That's very unfortunate, and just, like, the toxic masculinity in it, and just, like, the boys will be boys mentality when it comes to SA and, like, that kind of stuff was just awful. But it was, you know, very important that, like, yes, everyone's a bad, like, person in it. Like, every guy is, like, a bad guy. So it's important because, like, yes, people are gonna argue with me about this. I think it was in, like, Cinderella is Dead, when there was like a not all men moment, and she was like, yeah, if this doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you. Like, you don't have to get defensive because it doesn't apply to you. But it was a matter of like, one, we don't know which men. Two, there are too many men that like will not be that person that like tells their friend that's a man that what they're doing is not okay, and like that kind of stuff. It's like won't have those conversations with the other men and turn up the other way, turn a blind eye, whatever the saying is. Sorry, I'm getting heated. But like, that's why this is number 27 on my list. It's so freaking important. 26, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I thought it was a really cute film, really fun film. Crazy cast, like in a good way. But like I didn't know Elijah Wood was in it. But I really did enjoy the story of it, and just like the way like you want to get rid of the things that cause you pain, these memories in your past, but like they are things that kind of like make you who you are. And also just like a story of like heartbreak and how hard it is. 25 is Thelma and Louise. I really enjoyed that film. I just really enjoyed that. I thought it was really good. Also deals with hard topics, but like it was iconic. It was honestly just iconic. 24 is Palm Springs. That's another film that I surprisingly enjoyed. It is a time loop film that I enjoyed more than Groundhog's Day. Probably, maybe because it is like a bit more modern, but like I think time loop films will always have like similar messaging of like, I think it can kind of also be like a messaging for like, or just like an allegory for like depression, like when you're stuck in this rut and you're stuck in this like loop, or like even like spiral, like obsessive thoughts could be an allegory for, is like how hard it is to get yourself out of that, and how you can almost become like comfortable in that, and how you have to like really do the work to pull yourself out of that. I don't know, that's what I took. 23 is Penelope. Okay, actually this is the like cutest rom-com I think that I watched this year. I loved Penelope. I thought it was so cute. I would rewatch that. I actually got it for like £1 on DVD at like CEX. I thought it was so cute. I really was like, I'm upset I didn't watch this when I was younger, because it would have been a favorite for sure. 22, Joyride. That was another, I guess I wouldn't call that a rom-com. I mean, there's like romantic aspects to it. I would just call it a comedy. I thought some of the comedic moments were so well done. This cast, I think, really killed it with that. There were some that it like hit you a second later of like, wait, that's so funny. But I really enjoyed it. I would rewatch that film as well. 21, Brokeback Mountain, classic. Like, it was so good. It's just, honestly, I am unsettled by Jake Gyllenhaal as a person, but I still did like this film quite a bit. 20 is Atonement. That is a hard watch. Very sad, very dark. So well done. So beautifully filmed and written, and the sound design, I got that. Did I get that one on DVD? I think I got it on DVD, even though it's such a hard watch. Like, I would watch A Promising Young Woman again. I would have a hard time with that. I would have an even more hard time with Atonement, which has similar themes, but even more like even other sad, dark moments, and it's just, oh, it was such a good film. 19, Wicked Little Letters. I thought it was so good. I believe Jessie Buckley's in it, and I'm starting to really like Jessie Buckley as an actress. I do want to see Hamnet when it comes out in the UK. I did think Wicked Little Letters was so cute. I liked it a lot. And I mean, it's like a feminist film. It's really enjoyable. 18, I'm good with numbers, is The Favorite. I discovered Yargos this year, and I enjoyed The Favorite quite a bit. I thought the cinematography was really good, the story was really good. I am a fan of Emma Stone's acting in it, and just all the acting in it I think was so well done. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. 17, The Truman Show is so good. Such a good film. I loved it. Like, I just think the messaging of it, the ending of it's so good. Like, this has definitely been pointed out before, but the way when he like walks through the door, you don't know where he goes because you don't get to watch his life anymore. But I really truly love The Truman Show. 16, A Knight's Tale. That film was for me. It's like Y2K fantasy film. I was like, I freaking loved that film so much. I really did. I really, like, you can tell we're getting to the films that I loved. Like, this is the issue of this list, is that I watched so many good films that you're gonna see ones lower down or like in the middle that you're like, what are you talking about? That's a good film. And I'm like, yes, it's a good film, but I loved these top like 20 films. Even before that, I think I love these like top 30 films. So then the Grand Budapest Hotel. I really enjoy the Grand Budapest Hotel. I think the way he has them, like, I don't know, like, it's almost like he brings the non-diegetic into the diegetic. Just like the way they would like walk on and off screen is, it's like you kind of like break the fourth wall a bit, because it's like, you know, he's like walking out of the camera shot, but then he just like comes right back in. Like the way they did that, the way you're like knowing this man just walked right on camera, something about it, and just the pacing and the filming, the cinematography, the like color design of it as well. I did a project on the color design of that, so but I really like the Grand Budapest Hotel. Whiplash, I feel like it's popular for a reason. It was so good. I was almost getting into it in the same way I got into the Challengers, of like the visual storytelling, like these non-verbal acting moments between the drummer and the teacher, especially at the end, where it's like they're doing a concert, so they can't really talk about what's going on. They can't really talk about the development between them and like the agreement they're coming to, but you can see it, and I love that. I love it so much when there's like visual storytelling, especially in like visual acting. I like it as well in like cinematography and editing and that kind of stuff, but like I just feel like, I've said this so many times, but like there's too much being said in dialogue these days. There's too much over explaining, and I know a lot of it is because like apparently like Netflix at the summit, like people were saying like, oh, you have to put everything in the dialogue because people are watching things passively. Me personally, if I sit down to watch a film, I'm watching a film. Like I cannot stand, like if I pick up my phone during a film, it's because I'm not enjoying the film. Like I'm not here for people watching a film being like, oh yeah, this is such a good film, and it's like, you haven't looked at it once, you've been on your phone. Like I understand, like I even like I'm not gonna be like, I hate people that do that, because like people are people. It doesn't make you a bad person, it's just not how I watch films. 13, But I'm a Cheerleader. Such a classic, so good. Why can Natasha Lyonne, I think that's how you say her name. Incredible. I thought it was such a fun story. Dante Bosco's in it, that was surprising. But I really enjoyed But I'm a Cheerleader. It's only like 90 minutes, so it's a short little watch, but it's so good, so I highly recommend it. 12, Amelie. I loved Amelie. I watched that actually in school, and I cried. I literally, like, in the class, I'm like tearing up a little. I genuinely cried. I love that film. 11 is Bottoms. Bottoms is so good. If you haven't seen Bottoms, if you like comedy, I think that was the best comedy I've seen in such a long time. It's so funny, so good. It was unhinged at points in ways that I just absolutely loved. Ayo Edebiri is incredible. She's like definitely one of the best actresses of our time. That's what I'm gonna say about Bottoms. This is surprising, number 10 on this list. I have had people get mad at me about this because they were like, it wasn't that good, but I had so much fun watching Bullet Train. It could be I like the cast, I like most of the cast, I like just like, I thought it was so fun. Again, Bad Bunny was there, and like, I don't know, just the fact that like it all takes place on this train, and it's just so, majority of it, and it's just so, I thought it was so interesting. I really enjoyed Bullet Train. Number 9 is Get Out. Get Out is just a classic. It's a good film. I watched it. It's one of the few horror films I watched around Halloween. Jaws was the other one. And I was like getting jump scared. Obviously, I think the messaging and the theme of it all is very important. And I just think like this is the first year I actually watched Jordan Peele films, and I understand. I completely get it. I think he truly is like making incredible cinema. Number 9 is Sing Sing. The fact that Colman Domingo did not win an Oscar for that. Actually, that's number 8. I still can't do numbers. He did not get an Oscar for that is criminal. especially considering an Adrien Brody one, but like, such a good film, such an impactful film. I really enjoyed it, and I still think Colman Domingo should have that Oscar. I am going to campaign for somehow that Oscar to be taken from Adrien Brody and given to Colman Domingo. We're gonna somehow make that happen within the next 10 years. 7 Poor Things, again, Yargos, don't know if I'm saying that right, I'm sorry. Incredible film. I loved that film so much, so much. Emma Stone did a great job. It's just like the messaging, the cinematography again. There's so much to be said. There's so much to be said about Poor Things that I'm getting overwhelmed. 6 is Jojo Rabbit. I really, really enjoyed Jojo Rabbit. Another one that I'm like, of course, a very important film. There were definitely some times where I was like, yep, Taika Waititi wrote that. But I did really, really enjoy Jojo Rabbit. Number 5 is Parasite. I do agree with Parasite winning that Oscar. Such a good film. Such an important film. Like, so many of these, I think, in my top films, I think are very important and have a lot of things that need to be said. Especially, like, once we get to that, like, top 30. But they're such good films, too. Like, they're so well executed, and I think a lot of times, like, that can go hand in hand, to have that emotional impact and have that important story, and then to be so well executed can make such a good film. 4, I Saw the TV Glow. Talk about visually stunning. I thought this was such a well done film. I think the allegory was so well done. I did talk to someone who watched it and they were like, I didn't quite get it, but haven't seen the end yet, so that could be why. And I do think it does very much wrap things up in the end. And it also, there's a lot that it allows you to think about and analyze and figure out, and I appreciate a film that does that. I appreciate films, especially that are made for older audiences, and I do think kids can figure things out as well, but I appreciate a film that allows you to think and doesn't coddle the audience. I say this with books a lot as well. 3, Everything Everywhere All at Once. So freaking good. It's fun, but it's heartwarming and heartbreaking. I cried. I do agree. I think like the second half is like where it really gets you. But the fact that like there was a scene of 2 rocks that made me cry. Like, it's such a good film, such a good story of like family and hardships and like relationship dynamics and like wondering where your life could have gone, but like learning to accept like where you are. Just like, such a good film. Like, I do agree sometimes it was a little silly, but it was such a good film. Number 2 is Nope, which is talking about Jordan Peele. And I loved Get Out, but Nope, something about Nope like really, like Get Out like scared me, and I think the messaging was really important, but like Nope, I was like on the edge of my seat. Like something about it, I was like, and there was so many like little things like again that you could like pick apart. I love Keke Palmer. I love Keke Palmer. So I think that could also be why like Nope is my favorite Jordan Peele film that I've seen. But Get Out is still like incredible. And number 1, by far the best film that came out this year that I've seen. I know everyone loves One Battle After Another. I still have to watch that, and I plan on doing it before award season. But number 1 is still, I think, gonna be for me, even if I watch that. Sinners. Sinners, if you haven't seen Sinners, watch Sinners. It was incredible. Ryan Coogler is incredible. Michael B. Jordan's incredible. Like, the entire cast is incredible. It's literally so good. The sound, listen, I obviously, like, think, like, I don't award too much merit to Oscars because sometimes I'm like, why didn't Colman Domingo get that Oscar? But if they don't win Oscars for sound, at the very least, for the score, like, this film was so good. I got it on DVD as soon as I could. I am a physical media person, but I I loved it. I loved it so much. I can talk about it all the time. I literally was just talking about it earlier today before I even planned on filming this video. I know, obviously, like, I touch my French a lot. I'm still trying to, like, figure out styling and stuff. It's still a little bit long, but that's because it's straight right now. But I want to, like, yeah. Anyway. Hello, don't do that. I don't like that. No more forehead. I don't have a forehead anymore. That's the one of French. Yeah. That was a little sidebar, but God, I loved Sinners so, so much, so much, so much. I didn't see the Argos film that came out this year. I love how Emma Stone's in, like, all of them. I love when a director, like, keeps casting the same actors. Like, I feel like, Wes Anderson does that as well. And I didn't see the new Wes Anderson film either. Did that come out this year or the end of 2025? Or end of 2024? I don't remember, but I did want to see it. I didn't get a chance to. Although I'm a big fan of giving new actors a chance as well. Regardless, Sinners was the best film of the year, and that's what I have to say. I know I have controversial opinions, and if you disagree, if you want to, like, fight for your favorite film in the comments, go ahead. And I know some of my, like, placements were a bit silly, where, like, I had fun with friends watching this film. Like, I will admit, some lower films were probably better than this film, but I had fun with friends, and so, fun with friends, so that's, like, what my ranking came from. If you want me to do this again at the end of the year next year, I am hoping to still watch quite a bit of films this year. Quite a few films. Maybe I'll get to 100 this year. I don't know. I was hoping to. I, like, feel like I had a better chance of doing it in 2025, but I just fell off. But I still, like, I'm definitely gonna see Handmaid at some point, because I read the book and very much enjoyed it. We'll see what films I see this year, and I still have to watch the new Knives Out. Someone told me it was better than Sinners, and I was like, I'm gonna disagree with you. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna disagree with you. I still have to watch that. I did plan with my friends. Like, the thing is, I am very, very committed to when I plan on watching something with a friend, I am going to watch it with that friend. So, and my friend who we agreed to watch it is the same way. So, we are hopefully gonna watch it soon. I also didn't watch Frankenstein. I was going to. I didn't hear the best reviews of it, and then I sat down to watch it actually the other day, and it was like 2.5 hours, and it was like 9 o'clock, so I was like, maybe I'll save this for another day. So that is all I have for this video. This is a booktube channel, so any film stuff is going to be very far and few, but I did promise I'd do this year, and maybe I will do it at the end of next year as well, because I am a big fan of cinema. It is a big part of my life, so I don't mind talking about it every once in a while, but this is a booktube channel, so if you want more book content and maybe a very rare film content, especially like in vlogs, when I do the bookish vlogs, I can talk about films in that a bit as well. But either way, like and subscribe, and I will see you next week with my December reading wrap-up, which, like, hypothetically, I could have posted that when I'm posting this video, but I decided to do this instead. Alright, bye!